up, guys? Can you hear me? How's the audio? Big Fish Lad. How you doing, man? Jared, what's up? Chris, what's up, man? Are you not entertained? Audio's good? All right. Happy Saturday, Roger. What's up, man? Chris said all good. Yeah, we'll see how the glare is right now. It's a sunny day here in California. I don't know what the weather is like where you guys are at. I'm sure, Chris, it's negative something degrees up there. But it's a nice day to do kind of natural light, I think. Natural light video. So let me try to fit this in before I gotta go do some grocery shopping a little later. Got a weekend off of football. This is Super Bowl next weekend. So not gonna waste all my weekend watching football or anything. So I said, why not? Why not get in the fish garage and hang out? Roger said, water changes. Nice, man. Water changes essential. Chris said 5 hours on a tractor moving snow. Oh man, sorry to laugh, Chris. I mean, that's dedication right there. Even when I did live in a place where it snowed, and it didn't snow to that extreme. So I don't even have the slightest clue on how that is to do that on a to live like that on a normal basis. I feel for you. I hope the fish are staying warm enough. John, what's up, John from Australia? Love the channel. Thank you, John. Really appreciate the support. Thanks for stopping by. I guess you should do a quick, short little intro here, like I do every live video. Welcome. Just a February live video update. I haven't done one since I think December, the Christmas fish giveaway live video, but format's the same as always. There is no format. It's just kind of put these together just to hang out and chat with everyone and talk about whatever topics anybody wants to discuss. It's good for networking. A lot of people who join have big YouTube channels like people in the chat, so go check their channels out. It helps with networking. People who ship fish and import fish are oftentimes here. It's good for a number of reasons. Unfortunately, there's only one person's video that you can see through the whole chat, which is mine, and so I'll go through my fish here by request mostly. So if you want to see something in the fish room, just let me know and I'll move from spot to spot. I always start on these Carpentis first, because they usually show their colors pretty well in the natural light, even though this live video tunes down the quality and the coloration. But we can go anywhere in here. Questions, comments, nothing's off limits. Ask anything. And that should do it for the intro. So, and try to get to the comments and questions as well as possible, as best as I can. We have had a live video recently that it was hard for me to keep up, which I thought that was amazing to get that many comments. But if that happens again, I'll do my best, so bear with me. I'm a slow reader. Plus, I got this, I don't have the best setup for doing these live videos. I'm sure other people, maybe Chris, has a lot more experience with how to do that. I just do it on my phone, and the comments are kind of taking up a third of the screen here of my phone, and I have to actually keep clicking the screen to see the comments. So not the best, I'm not the most efficient and effective with doing these live videos, but I do my best here. Roger said they got our snow. Oh wow. Referring to Chris, I'm guessing. Aquafunk, what's up, man? How you doing? And Aquafunk, I'm not sure if it's the first time joining one of these live videos. I really appreciate it. I follow your channel, and I appreciate the content there as well. So again, networking guys, go check out Aquafunk's content. I think you'll enjoy it. This channel's out there for everyone, so check them out. Chris has a channel, Chris Biggs. Go check his out. Big Fish Lad does as well. Chris said, let's see the Asian Arowana. I'll save that to the end, Chris, and we'll get into a detailed discussion on that. But joking aside, I don't have an Asian Arowana. I've never owned an Arowana, but they look amazing. Definitely be something I would want to keep someday. What size tank would you need for one of those? I'm guessing 3 or 4 feet in width, something like that. I wouldn't even know where to start. I'm guessing I don't have a tank big enough for a full-size Arowana currently, as 240 gallon is my biggest tank, and that's only 2 feet wide. So, but beautiful fish. I love to watch videos on those. Big Fish Lad said, how are the real Niltibic Trimex? Hey, they're doing pretty good, since you asked. Not really a lot of coloring up going on there. They still got a little ways to go, but you asked, so let's go take a look. They're really skittish. As my chair here. And let's see. We might have to get off the tripod to get in here. Not a whole lot to look at right now, as everybody knows, and some of them are getting a little beat up, dorsal fins, nicks and whatnot, but I'm gonna have to probably move out some of the smaller ones to avoid any losses, but they're doing all right. But I haven't felt the need to do any videos on these guys yet. Once they start coloring up, getting close to that interest in size, then I'll definitely do some videos. But they're doing all right, man. Thanks for asking. Let's go back, put you guys in the tripod again. All right. All right. Comments, questions next. Aquafunk said, I'm on the hunt for that fish. I'm guessing you're referring to the Asian Arowana that Chris requested to see. Roger said, those wild multis. I'm guessing you're talking about the multifasciatus, the X Frederick Stahli. We could look at those here. Let me throw a little LED light on here for you. All right, Roger. All right. There they are. the big guy. See if I can get him to turn. Do a little profile for you. But they're doing good, man. With how aggressive they are, I'm happy they've been able to coexist so long as a pair. You know, this guy doesn't turn on the female that much, and when he does, she can just go in that tube right there. And it's perfect, their size difference, because she can fit in that tube and he can't. So I love those things. I wish I could find them in some bigger sizes. Maybe I can. I'll have to go back to some of the plumbing construction stores or whatever, wherever I found those. So they're doing good, and again, the video is not showing them, and plus my lighting here is garbage. They're doing well. Jared said, love the shape of the male Panametsis. Thanks, man. I mentioned previously that they go through periods of not eating. Very odd, but this guy's been eating well for 2-3 weeks now. So doing good. And constantly pulling their fry when I can. The other pair over here, male and female aggressive, because I got more of the fry from the pair on the left. I throw them up here. Kind of a smaller batch this time. I would say maybe 75 to 100. Much smaller than normal, but I throw them on that side because it's just easier with the way the tank sits. I don't want to run into these things. My wife's actually walked by the tank and cracked one of these breeder boxes before, and so I have to place them at certain spots of the tank. But anyways, this female's aggressive, thinking those are fry are hers, but they're not. So I'll show. If I went in the tank, she wouldn't bite me. She's just doing that because the glass is separating us. So anyways, let's catch up on some comments here. Aquafunk said, Chris, what are you doing in here? Chris said, Captain Spelltastic, Funk in the house. Chris said, Big says less than 0 skills. What? I don't know, man. Your videos seem pretty well done. Maybe you're just talking about how to do the go live videos, but I think my editing skills are at the bottom of the, probably can't get any worse. I do very little editing in my stuff. It's just all done on some free editing app on my phone, and I just don't have the patience and time to do videos and transfer them over to my laptop and do some fancy editing software. I just don't do that. Ooh. But I definitely like the stuff that you guys, nicer editing videos. Looks great. Chris said, truthfully, we don't normally get a lot of snow as we're usually far too cold to snow. Huh. It's kind of an odd year of snow for Chris up there. Paco Funk said, and I love your two bro. What are we looking at here? Sorry, I'm reading comments, missing the fish. Chris said, we've had many days since Xmas with temps down to negative 50 Celsius. Yeah. I'm not designed for the cold, like that cold. It's just not me. I've lived in cooler than here before, but I don't think I can take that cold. Props to you, Chris, for that. Yes, fuck, I made good here. Roger said we had minus 25 when I started the truck yesterday, plus 6 when I parked it. Jeez. Talk about a difference in change in temperature there. Florida, it's 59, Aquafunk. Wow. Guessing, I don't know much about the different areas, but not South Florida, I'm guessing. Chris said, many here in Canada, the Asian ones, yes, 6 foot by 3 foot or bigger. Okay, so the tank size for those Asian Arowanas, at least a minimum of 3 foot width and 6 foot length, because they just get so big and they have to be able to turn around, I'm guessing. Kind of the same for, you know, when I wanted to get back into umbies. I don't know what you guys would recommend, or Chris, you know, with the umbies that get possibly 24 inches. Yeah, it's hard for me to, you know, feel comfortable with a, you know, a 240 gallon that's only 24 inches in width. So I was looking for that one day, a 3 foot wide, 36 inch wide tank, so I can get back and do those umbies, but I haven't found one yet. Incredibly expensive, not a standard tank size, so those go for more. And then on top of that, usually, you know, I don't see a lot of glass ones. Usually ends up being acrylic, so that adds costs even more. But cold day in Florida, Roger said yes. Oh, Aquafunk's talking about my Texas cichlids. Yeah, these, I guess, common name, blue Texas. The true Texas, which I actually kept previously outdoors for like 3 years. And they were in some colder water, you know, in the high 40s, my outdoor ponds get. And really cool to keep them out there. I had a pair of those true Texas in the 300 gallon pond. Well, I guess it's not a pond. I've been corrected. The pond would be in the ground. These are above ground kind of Rubbermaid tubs, and they did well for quite a while. Spawned many times, and then eventually the male got sick of the female, and so he did away with her. I actually caught her too, surprisingly, before she passed, and tried to save her, brought her inside, but it's too late. But it's so hard in those ponds, man. It's really hard to stay on top of everything, and, you know, impossible for me to go get spawns right when they occur and siphon them out. Just stuff happens and you just can't tell. Even though I go try to take a good look once or twice a week, it's hard in the ponds. But I guess that's the risk I take with the stuff outdoors. Roger said he's sweet, a must. Roger asked, have you changed his diet? I'm guessing you're referring to the eating situation where this guy will not want to eat for a couple weeks at a time. Actually, all these Carpentis in the tank do that, but no, I haven't changed their diet. I still do the same stuff. Maybe I'll ask you guys. Diet for Carpentis. Maybe I'm not feeding them. I always like to know if I can improve things like their diet and whatnot. But I've always fed them pretty much a pellet called Otohini, which is somewhat higher in fat. However, with all the fish I feed in here, able to get that in bulk for a good price, and so it's kind of a must for a lot of the fish. That's one food. Second one, I do feed some massivore. It's like fish crack. They love that stuff. I do various Ken's sticks. I try to incorporate some veggie sticks. They actually eat the veggie sticks really well. And I'm trying another Ken's, it's like a variety stick pellet thing too. And so I try to mix them up, don't keep them on one thing. And and I do some of the Northfin jumbo cichlid, and they eat that. So 5 different staples, I guess I could say, and then they get the once a week treats, krill, and I used to do some frozen krill too, but I've just been doing the regular krill, and then I'll usually do some of the bug bite kind of thing, and they eat that pretty well. So I guess it's a variety. Not sure if it's optimal health-wise, but I'd be curious in listening to what you guys have to say on that. Aquafunk said I need to rehome my yellow firemouth pair. Guessing Pasiones. I think, am I saying that right? I love them, but I am not in the mood to deal with fry, and I don't really want to break them up. Yeah, man, those are awesome. I really got to keep those again someday. I enjoyed it my short time when I had some a while ago, and I got some smaller species like the Panametsis, the Maculopinus, and it would be do pretty well, I think, together, hopefully. So they're definitely on my list to keep again someday, those Pasiones. Roger said if Western Canada gets low snowfall, Eastern Canada gets it all. I gotcha. Roger said, I never got used to it when I left OC. Yeah, Roger, it was, I think I talked about it before. I actually lived in Japan for 2 years after college. And that was really hard for me to deal with the temperature, the seasons over there. Living in Southern California, 24 years at that point. And it was tough. The first year. Second year was easy because I think I had gotten used to it. Dealing with the cold, dealing with the summers, the humidity, and just sweating your bed at night, right after. It's just, man, it was brutal. The hot and humid, and the really cold and snowing, and that was hard to adjust to for me. And there's very, very little of that in between time where the weather was perfect. Maybe 1 or 2 months a year. So it's hard to complain. I'm not. Southern California, there's so many things wrong with it. Just to live here, so expensive. That's just one of many. But weather-wise, it's really hard for me to justify being anywhere else. This is a nice day in the 70s, I think, out here. It's kind of a little spoiled with weather, at least. We put up with the other stuff. Big Fish Lad said he loves those firemouths. The Cichlid Hoarder, what's up, man? Juan Mac. Juan, what's up? Juan, I've been texting you, man. I don't know if your number changed. But I've been texting you to see how you're doing. Haven't heard from you in a little while. In addition, Juan is the Cichlid Hoarder, I guess. I'm not sure if there's a channel behind that. Juan does a lot of wild-caught imports from Mexico and other Central American countries. He's done that for quite a while now. I'm not sure if Juan's still doing that or if he expects another import anytime soon, but it's a good contact to have. And I don't know, maybe Juan could talk about that if he's expecting to get anything in anytime in the near future. That would be pretty cool. Thanks for stopping by, Juan, I think it's the first time. I haven't noticed you previously, so. And Juan, why don't you tell me how those Stalsbergi, I say it wrong, Chris, every time, how those true green tares are doing. You got a bunch of fry from me, was it like 3-4 months ago? But I always like to see how the progress is. Hope they're doing okay, at least. Aquafunk said, like Chris said, I can't spill, so I do common names, get it spill. See what I did there? Yeah, common names. I'm sure I pronounce every single fish name wrong, and so I should probably use the common names more, but hey, not many of us pronounce it right all the time, right? Roger said, isn't hunger striking a central thing sometimes? Referring to these Texas, I'm not sure. I've had that happen in my lion side before, my big lion side pair back in the day, but that was kind of self-inflicted because I was feeding too much krill, and then that lion side pair just would not eat anything but krill at a point. And to get them back on pellets, it was a nightmare. Yeah, I think I starved them for 3 weeks. And then finally they took pellets, but very sparingly. They would hardly eat it. So that was my fault. In this case, I'm definitely not giving them treats too often. And when they don't do the eating thing, I don't even give them treats. I'll just throw a pellet here every other day to see if they get back into eating, and that's it. So these guys, it's been the first time I've noticed that. All the other centrals I've had, I haven't had that issue, so I'm not really sure. They spawn, and I always pulling this pair's fry, so I was thinking it might be related to that. They're so focused on breeding, and then I disappoint them and take their fry all the time. But Roger said my umbi hates bug bites. Yeah, you know what? It's weird. Some of my fish absolutely will not eat bug bites. I don't know what it is. And even other treats like the Cuban pear refuses to eat krill. Refuses. I don't think they eat bug bites either. They're always just sitting at the top floating every time I tried. And the past times where I've kept Cubans, it was the exact same thing. They never ate krill. I don't know why. Kind of odd. Most of the other fish I've kept eat krill no problem. So Roger said, and no surfing. Yeah. I used to surf every morning for 7-8 years, and then I had kids. But it was, I'd do that before work, go surf for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it is so refreshing. Some of the best times of the year would be January. You'd be sitting in the water at 6 a.m. Sun would be coming up, and on a clear day, you could see the mountains from the water, and you could see the snow in the mountains. I mean, for me, it was just an amazing sight and feeling to just do that. And I've even surfed in the morning and snowboarded in the local mountains at night. So got some versatility out here. Juan, the cichlid horse, says, I'll talk to you in a bit. Cool, man. Thanks, man. Whenever you get some free time. No rush. Juan said, yes, getting a bunch of fish soon. Well, awesome, man. if you ever, want to share your contact info for anybody here, build that networking, feel free to, comment here or even comment later in the videos. I think some people would see that and get in touch with you. So I don't know if you do by email or if you do the band app. I don't know, whatever it is, man. That's cool. It's a good thing you're doing for the hobby, Juan. Get more wild-caught fish in here, more wild-caught blood, and you don't get a lot of that of the Mexican species, I think, So it's really cool. How about some big yellow labradins, Juan? How awesome would that be? Aquafunk said, Chris is always getting on me about how I pronounce words, but most of the time I like to do it on purpose to get him mad. Okay. Don't let him get to you, Chris. John said, beautiful fish, bro. Thank you, John. Let me know if you guys want to go check out anything else. I'm just staying on this tank right now because I haven't had any other requests other than Trimax, but they weren't really much to look at this point. Aquafunk said, Cichlid Hoarder, I would love to get in contact with you. There you go, man. Network, boys. That's what this is all about. Help each other, work together, and spread the cichlid love, right? Thumbs up, guys. Jared said, how are the motas doing? Very interested in the new location. Okay, well, let's go check them out, Jared. I'm not sure how old that comment is. I'm just going one by one, but we'll walk around over here. All right, so, I got the motas in this 180, and they had I had a bunch of males, not a bunch, but 4 males over there. I've since moved them, with the exception of one male who's about 5 inches. He's available if anybody's interested. F1 Rio Motagua, Motaguensis. You're not going to see him very well here because a lot less fish, a lot more shy. I ended up keeping the one male. Man, he got some teeth on him. I ended up keeping this one male, and I did a nice update video on these motas recently if you guys want to check them out. But I had the male. He's kind of got this almost the whole tank in here with some silver dollars. I had this small divided section over here, and the female, she jumped over the divider to the other side. And she's still young, and she just had her spawn right here. I don't know if you guys can see, but it's a pretty good size spawn, I would say. And that's the reason she's up hanging out. Good cichlid mothers, always trying to protect her fry. She tried to protect them so well, she jumped over the divider to the other side. She was with the male, and she's doing great. She's got this aggression and attitude now, and so that's what's helping her stand up to the male, and male doesn't do much to her anymore. So the bigger problem is, that's a 4-inch female and a 6-inch male, and they got a whole 180 gallon. So I'm going to probably do something different. Either divide this tank in 2, and I'll put another pair on the other side of them, possibly, but I got to figure out what I want to do, because I want to use the 180 for more than just a Mota pair right now. Yeah, Roger said kids are worth it. Miss it though. Yeah, I can't wait, Roger, until these my boys are old enough to go do those activities, surfing. We do a little bit of lake fishing right now, but ocean fishing on boats, up to 4 days out there. That would be amazing if they got into fishing, because That's really the only fish collecting I do, is bluefin tuna up to 200 plus pounds. I don't bring them back alive though. But we're just checking out, since this tank is right next to them, checking out the Maculopinus and the Panametsis tank, and they look like crap on this video. I can tell you they don't look like that in real life here. But anyways, Aquafuck said, I'm a Puerto Rican guy from Brooklyn, so the thought of sitting in the water with sharks swimming around is horrifying to me. Yeah, Aquafunk, those so I've been scared of the water my whole life, the ocean. I think it was Jaws that did it for me when I was little, because I'm 44 years old now, and so I grew up during the time when I was young, and Jaws, right? And so I was scared of the ocean. I grew up, I've always been here, right, basically Huntington Beach, California. And, you go to the beach a lot. And, I never wanted to get in there. I was always fishing on the ocean on boats. And so I would see, hammerheads, mako sharks, big suckers, 10 footers sometimes. And they would, they eat your tuna, right next to the boat. All you get is a head back. And I was like, man, there's no way I want to go in the water. But something got into me when I was, late 20s, early 30s, where I just wanted to give it a shot. It just, and I just fell in love with surfing. It was just amazing hobby, incredibly difficult, but just so rewarding and relaxing and refreshing being in the water. And I've been in the water where you see this fin pop up right next to you, and it's a pot dolphin. Thankfully, I've never been right next to a shark. I've seen some like 5 footers jump out of the water, but nothing that will really attack you. We don't have sea lions where I surf, and that would be my understanding. That's the biggest concern. If you got a bunch of sea lions where you're at, then there's what wants to eat those sea lions, which would be big sharks. So thankfully I haven't done that, but I have been to Costa Rica once. Unfortunately, I did not go looking for cichlids, and you see all the crocodiles in the rivers, and those crocs even swim out into the ocean. So that was the peak of my riskiness, where you could swim and get your arm, you could get eaten by a big crocodile or a shark while you're out there. And I can tell you, I don't really take those risks anymore after having kids. It's funny how that changes you, or changed me at least. Funk, they normally don't come too close. Yeah. It's those few occasions where something happens, abnormal happens, and that's what scares everybody. Yeah, Catalina Island. That's, they're supposedly out there. Supposedly the white sharks breed on the backside of Catalina Island. I've heard. Who knows? Agong said, Roger, still, I can't do it. Yeah, surfing, I'm guessing. He's saying, Roger said he'll go with you. All right. We found a surf instructor, or a guide, if you will. Cyclohorse said, hey, are these modas from David P? If so, he got no, but they are originated from you on the wild-caught pair. I think they might have been from David at one time, but they're out in, I think, Louisiana now. And my pair are F1s off of that pair. So they all came from you, man. I don't know anybody else who's bringing in wild-caught modas, especially from that collection point. So yeah, they originally came from you, I think. Aquafunk said, LOL, we can go to a bar called Surfing to get some drinks, but that's about it. Roger said it's fun. Tuna are a hard fight. Yeah, Roger. The tuna are just, man. That's for me. That's the fishing that I love, and I am completely fine not landing them. I just want a nice long battle. I want odds to be against me. I want the odds of the fish breaking my line and winning its freedom. I want that to be pretty high, because the few times that you actually are successful in landing it, that's what makes it all worthwhile. And I catch so much tuna, bluefin tuna, in a season that for me it's I really don't need all that fish, you know. So it's all about the fight. A magnificent species and just a thrill. My longest battle has been 4 hours, and I lost that fish right next to the boat. I had no skin on my hands as the blisters, and it all wore off over that long battle. And that to me is something I'll never forget. That was more fun than, you know, the 200-pounders you catch on just incredibly thick line, and it takes you 10-15 minutes. That to me is not a challenge whatsoever. And you know, I'll take it. I'll take the 2-inch Toro belly meat to eat, but there's not much accomplishment in those cases. So I love to do it on light line. Osvaldo said, how are the new Trimax doing? By the way, I surfed down here in Puerto Rico, but no problems with sharks. Cool, man. Another surfer in the house. Well, we'll go take a look at them again. Osvaldo, Big Fish Lab wanted to see them. They're not coloring up yet. Still young and small, but you know, they're getting there. They're getting pretty aggressive, and the size difference is getting really big. There's some that are just much bigger than others, and so I may have to pull some of the smaller ones out and move them if I don't want to lose a lot of these guys. So, and then I do have some of the Rio Naranjos from my old pair available. I think they're about 1.5 inches plus. All skittish down here, but if anybody's interested in those Rio Naranjo Trimax, let me know. I'm gonna just go around to some tanks, guys, but if you ever want to see anything, let me know. See if I can get in here on the Aslanum. Nice looking female there, I think. It's got some of that blue-green coming on her cheeks and her side, near her face. So really fun species. And this male just skipped females. He went from a smaller female to the left, which you'll see over here. And you can see her fry. Actually, surprisingly been very successful keeping her fry alive with other Aslanum in the tank. So, very aggressive species though. There's a few males that are hanging up at the top I gotta do something about. Roger said, I go fly fishing now. I don't catch SHIT ever. It's a blast. Yeah, it's just nice being out there. Probably go do some trout fishing tomorrow with my boy. They stock some of the local lakes here, and it's really fun for my son, who's my older son, who's 4, and he's caught a lot of trout. And once it starts to get a little warmer, we'll start going for some of the carp in those lakes, because those are the ones that much harder battle fighting. Our local lake, which is right down the street, I've talked to a guy who's caught 2 carp over 30 pounds, and he said it took him 45 minutes to catch them. We're obviously on light line, 4-pound test, but I love it. And it's so different environment on the lake than on the boat. You know, I go on these, you know, on these boats, these party boats, 100-foot boats, and be on there for 3-4 days, and sometimes you get in seas that are just ridiculous. You know, you're just, you get seasick, and you know, when you're catching fish, you're just getting sloshed side to side, and it's chaos. It's nuts. It takes a real toll on your body. You go lake fishing, and it's just so relaxing, peaceful, and stable ground. I mean, it's awesome. Uncle Funk said, I have only one big male Cribohero Businji that I got from Max, and I wish I can get some more, but adult females, yeah. I'm not sure we're going to find more Businji. I don't know who else. I don't think anybody that I know has kept them and is breeding them and moving them. You're going to have to track down some people who still have some, and maybe they're willing to let some go. I don't know. That's gonna be tough. Mr. Red, what's up, man? Welcome. How's it going? Thanks for stopping by, man. Mr. Red said, I wouldn't mind getting a few Trimac fry. Well, I definitely got some, man, if you're interested. They're Rio Naranjos, like I just mentioned, 1.5 inch plus. You can message me on Facebook or Instagram, or if you don't have those, just leave your email, or leave your email in the comments, and I'll message you after or email you after. Jared said, would love to get some wild-caught Thorictus macula pinus someday. There are many centrals I would love being wild-caught. Yeah, that would be nice. Maybe Juan, cichlid hoarder. Maybe he's the man who could make that happen. Juan, can you bring some of those in? Some wild-caughts? Mr. Red said, I have one supposed Trimac flower horn red dragon getting a little aggressive. Yeah, the Trimacs are not going to be nice. They're pretty aggressive. Not quite as aggressive as these Aslanums. Yeah, these guys are just incredibly ridiculous. You know, I've moved like 3 or 4 pairs of these guys in the small size, and I try to warn people that be very careful, you know, because the male and the female by themselves, it will not end very well for the female. It'll happen very fast. At least that's what's happened to me. And so you either got to divide them, unfortunately, or you have to kind of stick to a colony or group. And you know, as they get bigger, it's really hard to do with the normal tank sizes. This is a 100-gallon tank that they're in. So I can do that, get away with it right now, but once these guys get like 6 inches, 7 inches, it's not going to work. So if I want to keep a pair, I'll have to divide them, probably into 75 or something like that. But I think that reminds me, back in the day, didn't Guapote Mel have some ridiculous sized tank with a ton of Aslanums, adult Aslanums? I don't know what size tank, but that was a 600-gallon. He's got some video of that. That was pretty cool to see. All right. I just moved over here to the Feste Grow Outs. These F1s off of one of my old wild caught pairs. And Slow and Steady that comes as a species, I guess. Definitely a species, requires a little more patience, I would say. Not quite as much patience as some species, but this does not happen fast. The pairing and the coloring up and the growing especially. At least for me. Maybe some of you guys have figured it out. Aquafunk says Cichlids Americas have them, but they're only one. Oh, the Basenji, yeah. Well, that's great that they have some available, you know, because I don't know. I can't think of any other place that has them. Not sure if Tangled Up in Cichlids, Kevin has them, but yeah. Rob's Aquarium Room. What's up, Rob? Thanks for stopping by, man. Aquafunk said, bro, how do you have sponge filters in with centrals and not have bite marks all over them? You know, I do. A lot of these are smaller. It's almost like certain species do and certain don't. For example, I'm trying to think of my sponge filters that got destroyed. And it's certain types of sponges. I noticed that like the really fine, softer sponges, like the Hikari, I think it's Hikari Bacto sponge. I had a bunch of those. I had some of those, and my fish would take chunks out of them. But then these ones right here, they're made by ATI. It's a really coarse sponge. I don't think I've ever had any cichlids able to take bites out of these. So I think it might be somewhat the material and also the cichlids that you keep with them. Obviously the bigger ones with some teeth is going to make it easier for them, but yeah, I've had that issue, but on different sponges before. So Rob, everybody knows Rob. Awesome. Osvaldo said, by the way, the Arowana fry I received from you a few days ago are doing good in quarantine and eating well. I like how you package your fish from Cali to Puerto Rico, no problems. Yeah, man, thank you. I'm really glad to hear they did well and they made it safe. Isn't that cool? You could ship from California to Puerto Rico with United States Postal Service. And I think I've done that successfully maybe 5-10 times now, and they goes normal. You know, what did it take? 3 days? I can't remember. 2 or 3 days. Obviously, those Trimex, I bagged them individually. I didn't put them in a, you know, in a group in a bigger bag. So I think that helped. Also using some of these 96-hour heat packs now, which are bigger than the 72 hours, and so I think they get a little warmer and they should last longer. So yeah, it was a success. So I'm glad to hear that, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing updates on those guys, how they do. Aquafunk said, no, Coda bought out Max's stock. Yes, I believe that's true. Aquafunk said, I gotta go now, but I would love to have you and Big Fish Lad on my live stream together someday. I go Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'd love to chop it up with you guys. Yeah, man, we'll have to find a time that works. Saturdays, nighttime, you know, might be a little tough with my 2 little kids in the family, getting them fed and stuff, but hopefully we can find a time eventually. Let's move around. And thanks for stopping by, man. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this tube is doing the same thing now. The male finally got big enough to the point he can't really fit in that tube very well. And so that makes me happy because female can definitely get in there and hide if she needs to, although she hasn't really had that issue too much. But with Feste, you never know. I could snap. See, she fits pretty well. And he does not. If he did go in there, I might have to wedge him out. So. Here's the other male. Other male, I really like too. It doesn't have the size that the bigger male does, but the other male has more spangles slightly, but it has really good bars just like that first male. And he's just being really picky with his females. He can't decide. He likes that bachelor life, I guess. I don't know. I might have to grow out one of my F1, one of those males, and get him bigger and then give one of these females a try, because they're not related. These wildcats are not related to those F1s. This male is just playing a little hard to get, a little difficult. All right, let's go back. Put you guys on the tripod for a second. All right. So, got quiet all of a sudden. I guess I should probably come with some key topics to discuss, huh? I always kind of wing it. I don't really have anything in mind. It's kind of how I treat my my YouTube videos. I never re-record my commentary, by the way, on those things. I just kind of like do my voice overlay one time, and it's like I'm gonna say something and I forget things and just whatever. That's the time I put into those. Probably should plan things out more, but time's limited. Oh, Big Fish Lad has a really good topic. How about this, guys? Gravel or sand, and why? Well, I'm sure we're going to get all kinds of great feedback here from other people. So maybe I'll answer first, and you guys could tell me if I'm thinking about it wrong, or and then give me your reasons. But I actually don't like sand at all, Big Fish Lad. The reason is my system and what my filtration is, it relies heavily on big gravel vacs and water changes. All I have primarily is a big central pump, and so I run sponges mostly, and on most of the top tanks I run Aqua Clear hang on the back filters, Aqua Clear 110s. That's it. I don't run canisters, I don't run sumps. And so to keep the tanks cleaner, I have to do gravel vacs really well every week. And gravel, it for some reason the crap and all that crud and crap finds its way into the gravel. And to extract that is very easy with a gravel vac and siphon to take out of gravel. Easy. It's so easy to work with. Gravel is heavy where it won't get sucked up through my gravel vac. And so that to me is a huge advantage over sand. When I do sand, I never can seem to get that tank as clean with the same amount of effort. I have to, hover the gravel vac kind of over the sand, kind of an inch. If I get too close, then it starts sucking up sand. Sand gets sucked up, goes into, goes out, outside into the street, where if I have the big long python, or it goes in my bucket, you get a lot of sand removed. And it doesn't always, because you have to sift through the sand with to get rid of the gases that can build up, and it's like poisonous gases can harm the fish, I guess. And you see that when it's been a week or two and you start going through and these gases come up from under the sand. And when you sift through the sand a lot, there's all kinds of crap that comes up with it. So sand traps smaller particles a little bit, but you can't put your gravel vac through it. So for me, sand tanks with the same amount of effort are much dirtier and hard to keep clean. Now, that's my opinion from a maintenance perspective. From a looks perspective, I think sand looks great on certain species. I think even it's a necessity, right, with sand sifters, geophagus, a lot of, my Panametsis and Maculopinus, they love to go through that, although I don't think they need it. My Braziliensis are geophagus, but they didn't really need the sand. But there's some species that you need that light color as well. I think after trying neutral gravel and white sand, I think sand is better for Trimax, in my opinion, from what I've tried firsthand here. So looks-wise, sand is going to be really good for some species. My Braziliensis as well. I think the neutral just kind of, it did not show their colors, but on sand they look much redder. So there's cases where you need that. So I've been looking for, a thicker, like in between gravel and sand, something that won't get sucked up in your siphon, and I haven't found anything like that, So anyways, that's just my take. And for reference, I use pool filter sand, which is bigger particles and heavier than normal aquarium sand. So I'm using thicker, heavier sand, and I still sucking it out through my maintenance. So that to me is my take on it. I'd love to hear what everybody else thinks, or if you guys have a way around that for me to deal with it. So Roger said we're baking. Rob's Aquarium Room said, I like gravel, it's easy to maintain, and sand get in the canister. Yeah, there you go. There's another one. When I have sand in my tanks, I can't put my hang on the back filter. I don't do the extender tube, for one. And then two, I have to put a pre-filter on, those little sponge pre-filter things. And those pre-filters get clogged up really quick. It's not much sponge. And so you have to constantly go in there, take them off, put your arm in the tank, take them off, and then squeeze them out and put it back on. It's a pain in the butt. And then so if you don't do that, you get sand in your hang on the backs or your canisters, and it can destroy the impeller, and there you go. Cost you more. And something else, on certain sponges that I've had, it will just suck in the sand in the sponges. And I think it's not taking it from the ground, but when fish they take in the sand in their mouth, they spit it out on top of the sponge filter, and it slowly moves towards the center, you know, kind of like Iron Man and his shrapnel thing, you know, and slow, you know, that's why he had that thing to stop that from happening. You know, it just, sand gets in the sponges, man, and it's you can't get it out. I haven't been able to get it out, so it just forever has sand in there, which clogs it up more. And so, yeah, sand's not easy to work with for me, I can tell you that. Hey Tom, how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate the comments on the Carpentis. Thanks, man. Roger said what you might look at. Roger, do you know, I'm guessing that the number is to kind of tell this and the size of the grain. Pool filter sand, what number is that? You know, I go to my Ace Hardware, which carries the pool filter sand, and it's pretty cheap actually. I think it's like 12 bucks for 25 or 50 pounds. So it's, the good thing is it's cheap, but I found gravel for really cheap as well at construction building material shops. So they're both on the same level, you know, as far as cost. But, you know, all the other things I described, I'm just not a sand fan unless I need it, you know. And I do have, how many tanks with sand? 1, 2, 3, I think 3 tanks with sand that I think the species need it. And so, anyways. Big Fish Lad said, yes, I did that video on changing to sand and I kind of regret it due to what you said. But the fish in that tank look better, yeah. Celiac sand is a great, to be fair, and cheap, lad, yes. 10 to 20, 20, 40, 40, 60 for PFS. Sand have destroyed a lot of my, you know, I can't say that I've had a filter destroyed with sand yet. These, I don't know if it's because they're the brand, the type, the Aqua Clears, 110s, but I also will use some pre-filters, or I won't use the extender tube. And so maybe I've just been lucky so far. But I have heard about that, damages impellers, and if you got like an F6 or something, and you know, I don't know how much a replacement impeller is, but kind of what a hassle that might be too if you're replacing the things consistently. Roger said sand is a pain. Agreed with your comments. Yeah, I mean, I wish it would be easier, but yeah. I mean, when you can find this gravel, this substrate right here is basically the only substrate I use. It's this neutral color. Find it at a building materials place for, I believe it's $10 for 50 pounds. So, you know, every time I go there, I just buy like 200 pounds of it, and I keep it in my backyard and we'll use it, you know. And it's just so, actually I don't really go through it because I'm not sucking it out, but I have extra just in case. So yeah, but no substrate is actually you know, my favorite for maintenance, but obviously, but you can't, you know, I think you showing off fish, and you know, they like it more with some substrate, you know, it keeps their stress levels down, I think. I only do that on my bottom tanks, bare bottom, and that's more because I need to be able to maintain them, you know, and I use a transfer pump which sucks out really strong, and I have to go across the bottom to do that. If I try to do a gravel vac with gravity, obviously the tanks are on the floor, it would not suck out very strong and it would take a long time. So I don't do the gravel on the bottom tanks. I just can't do it. Roger said I had play sand destroy an aqua clear motor. Oh, okay. You know, I don't know if that play sand is a different size or if it, you know, affects the filters differently, but I've never actually used the play sand before. I just use the pool filter sand, which is that celiac sand? Is that the same thing? I'm not sure. But let's move. Let's move around. Maybe these things can come out to play a little bit. Yeah, I haven't had a spawn from these guys, successful one in a while. I would like one, but thankfully I have plenty fry. You guys are interested. I know I sound like a broken record, but True Green Terra Fry, guys, F1s if you're interested. There's a female, and there's the male that they're off of. Really enjoying these, and maybe get kind of getting in a groove a little bit more with keeping them. I had some issues in the beginning with their stomach issues that they get, and I think it's just dealing with it is a better solution. And they've been doing well lately. Not a ton of growth on these guys. I don't know, what's the max size of Stahlsberg, Indiana car Stahlsberg? Anybody know? I always thought it was like 10 inches, but these guys are nowhere near that size. So they're growing slow, but thankfully they've reached maturity a year and a half ago, and they're providing fry. So I actually don't mind if they don't grow that big. Prefer them to stay smaller, because this 120 gallon will not work with a group of 8 to 10 fish, 8 to 10 inch fish. Roger said not necessarily. I guess that's the that regards to the pool filter sand. Sil 9 looks like small grained aquarium gravel. Oh, that could be what I'm looking for. I gotta go check that out. That's a little homework assignment after here. Where should we go? Oh, yeah, I did want to announce something for you guys here. I always do. Well, let me bring the chair over so I'm not sitting. I always, you know, try to announce stuff first on the channel if I can. And this is not the announcement. These are the Cubans. We'll check them out briefly here. The fry are growing pretty fast, actually. Mother, dad's in the corner, sulking because I got the garage door open. But you guys who, and there were multiple of you, dad's back there, multiple of you guys messaged me about Panametsis fry. And I wasn't really sure if I was gonna get rid of any, but I got my third spawn from them, and I feel like I'm getting you know, I'm kind of in the groove. These are not the Panametsis, by the way, if anybody's confused. But the Panametsis fry down here, I combined the first 2 batches, and these fry, I would guess, are right around average 3/4 of an inch. Some of them are close to an inch. I feel I'm going to start moving these. So if you guys are interested, message me on the Panametsis. I don't have too many of them. So first come, first serve, obviously. Announcing it here first, like I promised everyone. So anyways, Panametsis are available. I've never actually, that was my first spawn on these guys. The one of the 2 batches in here, and then first and second spawn. So I was pretty excited about these. Always fun when you try a new species and you get a successful spawn off of them. And you got Slanum fry over here. These guys are growing fast too, 1/2 inch plus. But anyways, Panametsis available. Message me for it, guys. I'm gonna have to move these. I think this is the pair I'm gonna move around in that 180 maybe, divided with the Motas. They don't quite, you know, they're not quite as happy with a swarm of fry, I think. You don't see them that protective anymore. And when they start to get bigger, I remember my old pair, these fry would just pick on the parents. You know, they eat their slime coat, and I think they're going to be happier if I move them and let the fry take over, have this tank by themselves. So I think that's what I'm going to do. We'll see. Fishymon64, what's up, man? He's just stopping by to say peace and hit the like button. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate you coming by. Yes, these are the Cubans with their first spawn since I've had them, but they're not a tough fish to spawn by any means, and they'll spawn at a much smaller size here. I just got this pair from my buddy Edgar a couple months ago. So anyways, the Panametsis is what I wanted to talk to you guys about, and those are available. What should we go look at? Just really loving this female. Got this colors just coming through, not through this video, but those blue and greens on her face, man, I love that. She's got this little stocky profile going. Super fun fish. I just really wish they would, you could keep them together easier. I don't think I've never been successful keeping a pair together without the female getting destroyed, or, you know, female gets picked off really easily with the species. Got to do a group, I think, and I just don't have the tank size to devote to a colony of a Slanum. So let me get to Fishymon said your Carpentis are the best. Now, I really appreciate the kind words, man. There's a lot of really nice ones out there. I love keeping them. I had this guy as one of my fry from a spawn, I think 3 years ago now. I'd have to go back and check, but I do have video on, you know, on the parents when they had their spawn, and then during that spawn, the male killed the female, all while I was away at work. No signs of it whatsoever, just all of a sudden snapped. So I had a big batch I grew a lot of them out and had many pairs. I had like 4 breeding pairs in a 180 gallon at one point. It got really ridiculous once they started getting that 6 to 9 inches. And now I'm down to 2 pairs, you know. Second pair, that little rip in the male sail is from all the aggression from that colony. Doesn't seem like it's going to grow back, but he's I enjoy keeping him still. Kind of a backup breeder too. If the pair on the left stops breeding, or God forbid something bad happened to him, then I still got these guys as a backup, which I think look beautiful. This female is just awesome. So much attitude. And again, there you got the fry. Full bellies, baby brine shrimp up there. They love that stuff. She does not want me to film. Not a fan. That's kind of funny about this tank. The pair on the left, which is my favorite pair, they breed, and I only, you know, for right now, I only want fry off of them for growing out and distributing. And so I take their fry out of the pot. I put it up in the breeding box on the other side. This pair over here, she'll get in that mode and that attitude, protect the fry. And eventually I'll just keep repeating, you know, like this pair will spawn again, then I'll move those fry to a 10 gallon. And so she's always protecting, and I think it limits her from breeding and from spawning because she thinks those are her fry. So I don't know, maybe is that a bad thing for her? But it's something I just thought of. Maybe that's the reason why the pair on the left spawns much more frequently. Rob said, it's time for me to feed my fish. See you later. Thanks, Rob, for stopping by, man. Have fun feeding the fish. Drip LLC, what's up, man? Thanks for joining. Drip asked, do blue Texas grow fast? I'd say average for the fish I keep. You know, they have a more taller profile. So if I were to compare them versus like Feste, you know, Feste are going to grow a little longer when they're young, and the Carpentis would be more of like a circle shape, you know, I guess you could say, when they're that small. So lengthwise, it might seem like they're not growing that fast, but they're getting, they grow, I'd say average, you know, not slow. The Feste are one of the slower ones. Slower than average, not incredibly slow, but that's how I would rank them. I don't know, what do you guys think? Eloy Costa asks, was that electric blue Texas cichlid? No, these are actually labeled as Escondidos. You know, electric blue, I'm not really sure the background of the electric blue. I'm not sure if that's a cross of different collection points, or if that is just another term used for a certain collection point. Does anybody know here the history of the electric blue Carpentis or electric blue Texas? Big Ray, what's up, man? Cooper Cichlids is here. Cooper's another guy, has a YouTube channel. And if I forget to mention anybody's channel, please speak up. But Ray's got a channel, and he's got quite a bit of tanks keeps all these same type of cichlids. Has been in the game for a long time. So go check out Ray's channel, guys. Thanks for stopping by, Ray. Drip said, I'm definitely buying blues when I move next month. Buying blues. Cool, man. Just let me know. Got small fry. I never usually am able to grow out any. They usually move fast enough where they don't get much bigger than an inch. I know everybody wants bigger fish to start out with, but there's only so many. I mean, I have, I think 27 tanks here in the garage, and I would say 65% of these tanks are all for fry grots and holding fry. And maybe I have 10 different species. It's hard for me to devote multiple tanks, medium-sized tanks towards a certain species. I do that with Festae, but that's because Festae are one of my top priorities. And so I'll have multiple breeders and multiple fry grots. But the other ones, it's hard. So maybe I'll have to do a grot series on the Blue Texas at some point. I just started or decided to do a grot series on the Multifasciatus. I picked out like 20 fry, I think, and I have them in a 20-gallon. And once they start, we'll take a look at them. They're not very much to look at right now. And that would be the difference. Maybe part of the growth thing, people think about coloring up process. I think the Carpentis color up really small. I'd say almost 1.5 to 2 inches. You're going to see blues on the fry. And so it's one of the reasons why this species is so cool to keep. It's not that difficult. You're going to get color at a young size. They don't grow incredibly slow. And if you can find a way to get a pair that's accepts each other and not super overly aggressive, then you're going to have a lot of fun with them. But Multifasciatus, on the other hand, this big guy down here, I'm going to go into their fry, and I had moved quite a bit of the Multifasciatus previously, and then I pulled out a handful of them, and I've just been power feeding them pretty well. And they're not going to be much to look at right now, but once they get to that 3-inch size, I think we're going to start having some fun and watching them. So I just wanted to grow out some of these guys because it's been a while. I grew out a batch maybe a couple years ago, and yeah, you can see how they're big eaters, but they're not going to have that golden yellowish color yet. They are a little bit, actually, looking at them in person, but you're not going to see it on this YouTube video, live video quality here. So getting some aggression here too. So fun fish, guys. And I do have fry these as well. I think 1 inch plus. Let me know if you want to give these a shot. I absolutely love my big pair. So Drip said, oh, I thought they were blue. I guess these, I guess I don't need movies. Escondido is what you have, right? Yes, Escondidos are the population that I keep. And in my opinion, they get very blue. I don't know. I couldn't tell you all the other populations and the exact coloration and level of blue that they get, but I could just say I'm really happy with the ones I keep. So what you guys doing over here? You know, it's actually, so just to clarify, maybe I misspoke. Their Carpentis is the species. The common name, I believe, is Blue Texas. And Escondido is supposedly the collection point. Now, I don't think Escondido is actually a location. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I believe it means, in Spanish, I believe it means hidden. So, it doesn't come to mind the exact collection point of the Escondido, but that's kind of what they're labeled as. So, please, someone correct me if you know the actual information. Eloy, I would say my biggest male Carpentis has probably been around 10 inches. I don't think they get a whole lot bigger as far as length. Big Fish Lad said Escondido is in California. I think, yeah. It's on the way to San Diego. Every time I drive south, there's signs for Escondido. And I don't think that's what they're talking about with the Carpentis, but why does someone look it up? I believe Escondido just means hidden. And so it might not be the actual name of the collection point where they're from, but I could be wrong. Big Fish Lad, question for you. When are we going to see some Feste in your fish room? I'm obviously a little biased because that's one of my favorite species, but when are we going to see some nice Feste at your spot? I saw recently that I think Tangle Up and Cichlids brought in some Rio Norino, I believe it was, some Colombian caught Feste. I think that was the second import. That could be something. I don't know if you guys, or if you know a shop out there who can bring in a big order of stuff from Tangle Up and Cichlids, but that might be pretty cool. Start out with some wild caughts from a very rare collection point. You said hopefully soon when I move and get the fish house up and running, so watch this space. Cool, man. Yeah, that's right. You got that really exciting, cool project coming up. That's gonna be lots of fun. What's your plans there? You gonna run a full air system, PVC air system, I'm guessing, or are you gonna run it all on kind of like a big central sump, or possibly a drip system? I'm not really sure. I haven't gotten into a lot of those different high-end filtration systems before, but just curious what your plans are for the new fish room. Or maybe you're going to do the hard way like me, just do mostly sponges with their air system, which is not bad if you don't mind the tank maintenance on a weekly basis, which I actually find very therapeutic. I actually like it. You know, I think it'll limit it, for me at least. It limits how many tanks I can keep with this type of process. I got 27 tanks, I believe, inside, and then three above, you know, Rubbermaid tubs in the backyard, and that is about enough for me. I can't comfortably do any more than that with everything else I got going on. It would just take its toll and get too tiresome for me. So I'm right about optimal with the level of maintenance I have to do. You know, and I don't think switching to an automatic system, I think it would be too much work for me. Maybe if I ever move, I'd consider that, but. So he said, Big Fish Lad said, yes, sponges. Cool, man. Yeah, I only add the Aqua Clears 110s, which is my favorite hang on the back filter. I only add those things to add some circulation, more filtration, and if I need to clear the tank up, you know, to get it ready for, you know, making a nice looking video and stuff, get the crap out of the water column. I think you kind of need some of those. Sponges, it'll take a little longer, but I got a topic. Obviously, Paul started the last one, which was sand versus gravel. Let's try a different one. Hang on the back filters. What's your favorite brand? I guess end model, and why? And maybe we can talk about, maybe I can narrow them down, and you guys can tell me based on a few of the most popular ones, what you guys think are the best ones and why. I keep about 14 Aqua Clear 110s or Aqua Clear 500s, which are the old model, and I only have one of the Seachem Tidal 110s. Why don't we go up here? There's your comparison, guys. And since I'm asking the question, why don't I answer? And this is kind of a neat topic because I've had a lot of people request this specific video to be made. And they always say, you know, can you make a hang on the back filter comparison video? And I found the title a while ago when it had a lot of, you know, when it came out and a lot of people talking about it. And so obviously I wanted to try it and see for myself. But over the years, I even did like somewhat of a review in one of the my Facebook groups. I've really grown to not like that filter, the Tidal. And you know, there's positives, but to me there's more negatives. So one of the biggest issues for me is if you have your tank water, as you can see, the water is above the rim. If you have your tank water even right here, there's this surface skimmer. Let me show you guys here. This might even be helpful for a lot of people who, I'll put this down over here. There's a surface skimmer right here that, well, for one, sucking up some plastic crap, so that's a pain in the butt. But it's got this surface skimmer that it sucks through, and if you have your water level below that thing, the filter won't work. It will not suck up water. And it makes a horrible noise. So you could, during water change, you could turn this off. But it's really funny because I've taken a video of my water on these tanks being at 50% level, and the AquaClear is still flowing strong, and the Tidal not at all. So, you know, if you want the option of not having to have your water at the highest level, you can't use the Tidal. Two, you know, if you ever need to treat your tank with medication, you know, let's say you quarantine or you got fish that are sick, if you have a 120 or 240 gallon tank, what do you want to treat the full tank volume, or do you want to treat half or 50% of it? Medication's not cheap sometimes. And so I always like to treat maybe around 55% of the water, less meds, and guess what? You can't use one filter if you do that. So it's not very practical for some of the uses right now. Now you know, if they fix this issue and get rid of this, or figure out put another dial to turn it off, I think it has some good potential. The flow, I think, is rated a little bit less than the AquaClear, but I like that it flows outwards more because it has this lip. The AquaClear doesn't, and just goes straight down. So it is kind of neat that you're getting more surface agitation. I guess you could say that would be one of the positives. But another negative, there's two more negatives I have, is this thing bypasses really easy and fills up, and as you can see, it goes through the dial to flow back in. And I've cleaned this out about a week ago, and it comes with these little thin sponges that don't even fit the housing very well, and they're kind of expensive. They're like $7, $8 for two of them. I don't know. And you need like maybe 5 or 7 of them to fill up this thing. I don't really like it. It's you know, the AquaClear's sponges, you put 2 of these big sponges, I had this thing on top of it here, but you put 2 of these big sponges, it fills it up. And my AquaClear, here's the overflow. It doesn't really get to that point where it overflows very often. I really have to delay the maintenance. These guys overflow very easily. And here's another issue. If you have this filter, I'm really getting into it here, guys. I didn't plan on this. If you have this filter tilted backwards, even the slightest degree, I've had this happen many times. This water flows around the filter and it comes down the back. You could see the water lines here, and then it just drips all over your floor. So yes, you should have this thing level, but I had to add some cardboard back here to make it level, because this used to lean back slightly and it would leak all over the floor. So design-wise of the overflow is poor. It should never leak out the back of your tank around the side. You know, of course, I should be maintaining this thing, which you have to do really often for some reason, or I turn down the flow a lot, which, there you go, it has much less flow than the AquaClear. So, you know, there's just too many reasons why this filter is inferior, in my opinion, to the AquaClear 110. You know, people say the AquaClear doesn't auto prime. I've never had an issue with that on my 110s, where the power would go out and all my AquaClear 110s start back up. They might not start up as fast as this one. This one primes really quick, immediately quick, with no water in here. The aqua clears, let's say my power goes out, the water remains in here and it'll start back up. You know, it takes a little bit longer and it goes. If I drain my tank below 50 degrees, 50%, and it goes below the intake, yes, the aqua clear will eventually, once you're filling back up, it'll eventually prime. This one will only prime once you get it past the surface skimmer. So anyways, I think it might have potential in the future, later designs, once they fix certain flaws. And surface skimmer being one flaw, the overflow being the second flaw. It should not be able to drain around the side, even if you have it tilted back. And I don't know why it bypasses so easily. So those would be my biggest reasons why I just don't like the title. You know, I've still got it running, you know, but I don't know what you guys think. Let me get to the comments here. Roger says, AquaClear 110, easy maintenance and reliability. Yes, I agree. Seeker and Title are a pain, lower flow. Yes, I agree. AquaClears are tried and true, but recently I have been using a Title. I'm guessing Title, and I love how quiet it is because the pump is inside the water. Hey, there you go. The water, less chance of overheating and no priming necessary. Yeah, you know, that's a good point, Aquafunk. I have had one AquaClear. I'll try to get around to the back of it. I have had one AquaClear where I think the seal, the O-ring or seal, whatever's, you know, in between, I think that went bad, and I have had a little leak. That was one filter a long time ago. But yeah, the motor is outside versus, I think you said this motor is inside the tank. So that's a benefit for sure. Good pointing that out. And yeah, maybe it is quieter. It's funny because I'm in my garage, my fish room, and the noisiest thing in here is the air pump, which is even that noisy. And also the sponge filters. I don't use the air diffusers, so you hear these big bubbles. So for me, I can't even hear any of my hang on the back filters, really. But I do remember sometimes you get this AquaClear rattling a little bit, and I've had one or two that have done that, and I forgot how I fixed that. I kind of just tapped it or who knows what. But yeah, those are good points. Aquafunk said, true, the surface skimmer is an issue, but I hate water lines, so my water level does not. Yeah, that's a good point. If you never need to run the water lower, then you kind of got that issue resolved, right? And I guess another one, which I didn't think of, is if you feed floating foods, you like flake or floating pellets, your foods get stuck in the surface skimmer. You just saw me pull out a piece of plastic plant leaf because it got sucked in the surface skimmer. That plant leaf was floating on the surface last week. It got sucked in. So your food gets sucked in. Now, I think the quick answer to that is, well, just turn off your dial during feeding. That solves that problem. And then turn it back on when you're done, when the fish food is gone, the fish are done eating. Well, if you have 14 of them going, the time and effort to do that, man, that's a pain in the butt. Not to mention, I was doing that when I first got this one, and countless times I forgot to turn it back on after the food was gone. And so I had this filter not running for a week, weeks at a time, you know, when it, you know, in between sometimes, and not realizing it, you know, actually not weeks, but days. if I would go, 2 or 3 days without feeding. And so, yeah, it's just, it's a little bit more effort than I wanted to put in. I'm gonna have to clean this one. This thing gets dirty so easily. Maybe that just means it's more efficient. I don't know. Let's see. Roger said you can't take the impeller out and it's not self-cleaning. Huh. Yeah, I didn't realize that. Yeah, Roger said you can't take the impeller out of the Title, and I 100%. The Aqua Clears, every now and then, maybe once a year, I'll do a full cleaning on these things, and you'll pull everything out. You'll clean all the gunk and crap off that builds up, and the impeller, you pull the little impeller out, and I'm cleaning that thing off because that builds up junk on there too. And I don't know if you're not able to do it with these Titles. Will that mean it won't last as long, or it gets less efficient? That's pretty interesting. I didn't even think about that one. Let me put this glass back on here, guys. So there's a couple good points brought up that I didn't even think about. All right, let's see what's next. Anybody comment anything else? Fishymon said Aqua Clear is my favorite. Aquafunk said I just looked at mine. The newer models do not have that overflow feature, and it has a knob in the back for leveling now. Oh, that's really good. If they made that knob, that's cool. Because the Aqua Clears, let me go to a different tank so you can see the Aqua Clear. Oh, this one. These Aqua Clears come with that little level right here that you can twist in different different lengths, distance from the tank. But even these Aqua Clears, I have these leaning back slightly, and there's no way for them to overflow outside. So I think Tidal needs to still do something with their overflow function, because you could see it just kind of flows out of the dial, and when it's leaning back, I've had it happen multiple times. Water drips around the side and goes behind the tank. So I don't know if they fix that, but they should if they haven't already. Scott's Aquatic says, I only use sponge filters. Yeah, sponge, man, that's my go-to in all my tanks. At least 2, sometimes 3. Great filters, cost-wise. And Aquafunk said the surface skimmer is still an issue, but I have this tank in my room, and the noise of Aqua Clear is no. Yeah. If you have it inside your house, I get it, man. I have a buddy. Actually, you could probably see a fish room update I put on my channel of Mike's Cichlids, and when he planned out his filtration and whatnot, his tanks are, some of them some of them are actually in the house, and he's really about the noise. He wants it to be the quietest possible, and he did all kinds of research on all the different filters, and he ended up going with Tetra Whisper hang on the back filters. So that was his biggest thing, was noise. Now, I think those Tetras use those cartridges, and not much media capacity compared to both of these. So he definitely lost a lot of good features by needing the really, really quiet hang on the back filter. So Scott's Aquatics, hi everyone. Hey Scott, welcome. Fishy Mon said, yeah, a little tap always stop noise. Yeah. Yeah, and if the noise didn't stop, I don't know. I'd never done anything beyond tapping it, and I don't notice any of them having that rattling noise. I know what you're talking about. But yeah, I could see Aquafunk where having it inside your bedroom, yeah, it might be a little bit on the noisy side. So you might prefer something like that. I get that 100%. Fishing Mon said I run pre-filter sponges on my aqua clears. Yeah, I do as well. And in case anybody doesn't know what those are or wants to, I'll show you exactly. I just actually ordered some more of them. Well, here's these ones. Where's the new ones? I bought a package of them. Anyways, oh, there they are. So there you go. These guys right here, they go right over the intake of your aqua clears, and I have one right here. So they go right on the top. I'm trying to do this while I'm holding the damn thing. Sorry guys. They go over right there on your aqua clear 110 intakes. Really cool. They get kind of plugged up within 2-3 weeks for me and start restricting the flow. So you kind of want to go in the tank, take it off, squeeze it out, you know, and put it back on. But they are really good for stopping the sand. And I think this pack of 4 was only like $6 on Amazon, something like that. So really handy to keep those. And I guess you could prevent fry from getting sucked in there if you guys grow out your fry with your parents and, you know, in the tanks. But I use it mostly for, you know, cleaning up all the last remaining floating particles before I'm going to do like a video. And they do a pretty good job. Aquafunk said, LL, I stopped feeding flake and floating food because of that stupid skimmer. It dirtied up my filter. I don't blame you, man. Yeah, that would make me stop feeding flake and floating foods as well. Kind of limits your feeding, what you can do, you know. Krill, freeze-dried krill floats. So you can't really feed the krill. You know, some fish, you know, smaller ones that, you know, rather have the flake, can't really do the flake. Floating pellets, I guess you could go to the sinking pellets, you know, but yeah. I don't know, guys. I thought it was, hopefully any of that info, you know, will come handy about the filtration. Cool little topic. I think the Seachem as a, you know, if they make some modifications, I think they have a really good shot at being a competitor with AquaClear, or Fluval, I guess it is now. But for me, they really have to fix a couple things, you know. But let's see, what else can we look at? What do you want to see, guys? I guess we were at the 2-hour mark. I usually don't go much longer than 2 hours, but I got a little bit more time here. Aquafunk said, LL, I think all real fish keepers have a table or multiple totes with random fish junk in it. Yeah, let's go back to that. You know, it's stuff you don't even think of, right? I mean, you look at the whole damn situation. I try to clean this up as nice as possible. You know, you got freaking shipping bags and USPS boxes and more shipping bags and the food and all the crap everywhere. I mean, I should really get more organized like this. You know, you keep your shit, all this airlines and stuff in there. But yeah, I got that. It's funny. my wife had this cart that she was using to when she had her, for parties and friends over. She had like napkins and utensils and stuff, and I was like, she wasn't using it too often. I said, I'm going to steal this because I just had a much worse method of holding everything. It was terrible. And so, man, all kinds of crap. Look at all these stupid darn heaters that are just bad. I mean, if you get that question a lot. That's another good question if you guys want to talk about it. I see a lot on Facebook. What heater brands are the best, right? And you could see all these ones. I mean, well, look at all the Aqueon ones in here. So if that's any indication, I don't know what it is. Like even Aqueon Pro, Aquatops, every darn heater just goes bad. And then you guys probably all got your medication met. These should really be in a cabinet, but I got to fix that. And then you got I had all my nets right here, and it was just, I'd knock them all out every second. It was a pain in the butt. And you got all your stuff, your suction cups and your peat moss, if you ever use that, and Epsom salt and scrapers and all kinds of freaking nightmare stuff. I wish I really had like a cabinet or I need to organize a little bit better. And then here's one, Aquafunk. You'll like this. You guys have your hose wall, and I bet you guys have more hoses than me, maybe. All kinds of hoses. I run when I fill up from my water changes, because it's so slow with one water hose, which goes from my sink, that I run one from outside so I can get double hoses filling up. And so it's yeah, the wife loves it. Take up all this space in the garage. But yeah, we all got the random buckets and crap everywhere. Oh God, and then, man, I'm not even gonna go in here, but you go in the backyard and that whole shed is fish stuff. I have Tupperwares of pots, clay pots, tubes. I got Tupperware for driftwood, for randomness, everything. I don't even want to look in there because it's going to be embarrassing with how messy it is. But yes, we all have that, I'm sure. It's crazy. Oh. All right, let's see. Big Fish Slad said I use Fluval E series. What is the Fluval E series? Big Fish Slad, can you that's an hang on the back filter? I'm not familiar with that. And if it is, that'd be interesting. I'd definitely look into something. It's a new hang on the back filter. Aquafunk said if Pet Supplies Plus has the worst heaters, they work well, but if you take them off and let them sit in a taupe for a long period of time, they never work correctly again, huh? Yeah, I know, on the topic of heaters, since we're talking about it, I'm thinking about it. Which heater do I have in my tank that's lasted the longest? I think actually I have this titanium Higer heater, which comes with a controller, and that thing has been on there working for 4 or 5 years, and I've never had an issue. I just have an issue with the suction cups on there. They don't work very well, but the heater itself, man, it works great. So that's probably my best heater. Only problem is it's like $79. Aquavunk said, LOL, I got screws all over in my wall outside with hoses and nets. Nice, man. Yeah, I used to just pile those damn hoses up in the in that trash can, and it just would pile on top of stuff, and it just nightmare. Big Fish Lads and Heaters. Aquafunk. Do you go live every Saturday? No, unfortunately I don't. I'm lucky if I can do it once a month, and I don't have like a set time because maybe you could help me with this. I've tried to do the scheduling ahead of time, and when it came time to get into the video right before it was about to start, I couldn't get in. And so I pretty much just, most of the time, go live right then and there. And, you know, and I'm always trying to do it in between, you know, when I have some free time, which, you know, from family and stuff. And so it's hard for me to do a normal schedule. But I shoot for the once a month thing. And when I do it, it'll usually be a Saturday or Sunday. So, you know, if it's sunny and the natural light's coming in, I'll just open up the garage and we'll do that. So, Aquafunk said titanium heaters with digital thermostats and probes work the best in my opinion. Yep, I agree, man. Got to have those you know, heater controllers. What's this one? This is I think the Inkbird, yeah. So I got this Inkbird one, and it's working pretty good. I don't think it's failed me, but definitely better to be safe. Fluval E-Series are heaters. Oh, shit, okay. I'm behind on the comments. Apologize there. I'll have to look for the E-Series heaters, Paul. Check them out. I'll try any brand heater because you don't find too many that last very long, unfortunately. Oh, Fishymon, thank you for the compliment on the Carpentis. Really appreciate it, man. Scott's Aquatics, beautiful looking fish. Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining the live video. So, Fluval E-Series, that's something I'm going to have to check out. I'm getting a lot of, like, I'm trying some of these heaters. This one's like an aqua top, and it displays, it's got two dials, right? It's got the digital reading of the current temp, and then it's got the temp you set it at. I don't know, you know, that I haven't tried this one that long, but we'll see. There's all kinds of ones out there. But I really wish there would be like a more reliable one. And my heaters don't, you know, I don't think they really work overtime, being where I'm at. It doesn't get super cold. So they just go bad, you know. Yeah, fishing on the Higer one, yeah. It's I'll show you the one I have. I'm not sure if you're talking about a different model, but so you can kind of see the heater. It's this titanium one, you know, it's got that metal, and here's the controller to it, and it always switches to Celsius. There you go. This one works pretty good. I've had this for 4 years, I think, and it hasn't failed. You know, funny enough, this tank with the Panametsis, which I try to keep the temperature lower to 76, so my most reliable heater doesn't really have to heat the tank that much, because if I didn't have a heater, I think the lowest this tank would get would be like 73. So I should really utilize that heater in a different tank, but something on my list to do. Aquafunk said Higer has a new 300 watt titanium digital heater with built-in cage and is only like 6 inches long. Wow. Little compact, strong heater there. Yeah, and it's funny, I used to do some, reviews for Higer, so they would send me free product, and then over years and years, Amazon ended up, disabling my ability to make comments, because obviously they want you to give good reviews, right, on their products. And most of the time I had nothing but good things to say about it after using it, especially this heater. That's probably my favorite heater. And I can't comment. I can't give a review anymore on Amazon just because I don't know why they flagged me. But with that, I can't do the review process for them. So I haven't been getting any heaters. Maybe I need to set up a second account and get me some more heaters like that. Aquafunk said, I got a 10% discount code for some if anybody wants one. Cool, man. Yeah, speak up, guys. Want to get a discount on a Higer? I'm guessing he's saying Higer heater. I think the most I need in any of my tanks is 200 watt, but no, people in colder areas can definitely use those 200, 300, 500 watt heaters, maybe even more, I don't know. Little female Panametsis. Oh, all right. So I think you guys have heard me complain about, not complain, but just say how the Panametsis batches of fry have been extremely small. I think the first batch of fry was 20, the second batch was 25, and so I'm looking here and trying to count. I think there's more. I think there might be 30. Going up slowly but surely, which is cool. Maybe 35, I don't know. So, third batch of Panametsis fry, really cool. Happy to keep this species and have some success with them. Till we get to this level. Probably won't ever get to that level, I'm guessing. These Moda, Red Tiger Moda's first batch of fry. So, such a difference in quantity with the species. It's crazy. Oh, anyways. All right, Aquafunk said, for real, it's time to go. Thank you, man. Appreciate the conversation back and forth, and good information, good feedback, man. Everybody go check out Aquafunk's channel on YouTube. Give him a sub. Really liking some of these Macula Pinus. I think I gotta give them their own tank. They're just subdominant. The Panametsis running the show, and really fun though. Fishy Mons, you breed says like guppies. I appreciate that, man. Compliment. I just having lots of fun, and I'm guessing a lot of luck lately with the breeding. Just consuming a lot of time and tank space. So that's why I always got these darn breeder boxes up at the top, because I don't have tanks for these fry to go in. So I have to move them up slowly. All right. Thank you, man. Fishing Mon, following me on Instagram. Really appreciate that. I think Instagram has been kind of my biggest following. I think so, but definitely trying to do, stick to the YouTube thing more as the primary platform. So. Ooh. All right, guys. Well, I am going to wrap it up here for today. I think we've gone over 2 hours. Really appreciate everybody stopping by, and we had some great discussion on multiple topics. Sand versus gravel, hang on the back filters, specifically aqua clear versus tidal, and even heater discussion. So I love to hear the feedback from you guys, and I always learn stuff from networking like this, and I think that's what it's all about, learning. We can always learn, and if anything, maybe these videos are just kind of like a facilitate discussion, which hopefully people appreciate. So thank you everyone for stopping by, another live video, and looking forward to the next one, and looking forward to everybody, all the other channels here on their next video updates. A lot of you guys in here do them more frequently than me, and I love watching them, so I really appreciate that. So anyways, guys, I hope you guys have a good weekend, and until the next time, take care, guys.